All right, let's get into it. We need to talk about the whole situation with legendary coach Geno Auriemma and his constantly shifting story on Caitlin Clark. We're going to break down why a leader's refusal to just say, you know what, I was wrong, can actually become a much bigger deal than the original opinion itself. So, where do we even start? Let's start with Geno's most recent explanation. After a full WNBA season of watching Caitlin Clark get absolutely beat up on the court, people asked him, hey, why is she getting this kind of physical treatment? And his answer? Well, it was a brand new theory. And there it is. The new argument is that Caitlin Clark is a target because she's a trash talker. He's saying she's not some angel walking around, and that it's her chatter on the court that's provoking all these hard fouls. You know, a simple cause and effect. But is it really that simple? Not so fast. That whole justification just completely falls apart the second you look at the reality of the WNBA. The idea that Clark is being singled out just for talking trash, it ignores one huge fundamental truth about elite basketball. Everybody does it. I mean, just look at this list. It's a who's who of WNBA superstars. You've got Kelsey Plum, Aja Wilson, Angel Reese, Diana Taurasi. I could go on and on. Talking trash isn't the exception. It's practically the language of high-level competition. So no, this can't be the real reason Clark gets targeted.
And that right there brings us to the real heart of the issue. This new trash talk narrative is a direct contradiction of what Geno Auriemma himself was saying just a few months ago, before Caitlin Clark ever stepped on a WNBA court.
Just a few months back, the problem wasn't what came out of Clark's mouth. No, it was her delusional fan base and this idea that she was being set up for failure. Now, fast forward to today, and the story has completely flipped. The blame isn't on the fans anymore. It's shifted directly onto Clark herself.
Yep, this was his original take. He was arguing that it was the fans creating all the hostility by disrespecting the veteran players. He claimed they were setting these wild expectations that Clark would just waltz in and dominate from day one, which naturally was going to tick off the other players. And he went even deeper than that. His critique wasn't just about us, the fans. He was openly questioning if her game would even translate to the pros, saying she was on the wrong team and had the wrong skill set to handle the league's physicality. To put it plainly, he predicted she was going to fail.
Okay, so that leads to the really obvious question. Was he right? Did she fail? Let's push the predictions aside for a second and just look at what actually happened. Let's look at the hard data. First, let's just talk about the impact on the business. The Indiana Fever's average TV viewership shot up by an incredible 450% in a single year. That isn't just growth, my friends. That is a seismic shift, and it was driven by one player. And her performance on the court? Well, it turns out those so-called delusional fans were pretty much spot on. She won Rookie of the Year with almost every single vote, made the All-WNBA first team, finished fourth in MVP voting, and set rookie records for points and assists. Oh, and yeah, she led a team that hadn't been to the playoffs in 8 years to the playoffs. So she didn't just survive, she absolutely dominated. Auriemma also tried to claim this wasn't even a top-tier rookie class. The data says otherwise. I mean, Angel Reese had a season so incredible she would have won Rookie of the Year in a bunch of previous seasons. This wasn't a weak class, it was an historically great one. So, when all the predictions have been proven completely wrong by every single metric available, it really begs the question, why invent a whole new narrative about trash talk instead of just admitting what the facts show? And this is really the core of it all, isn't it? It's such a simple question, but it seems to be the one thing a legendary figure in this sport is completely unwilling to answer. Look, this isn't just about a basketball opinion anymore. It's about character. It's about whether a leader has enough integrity to admit they got it wrong, or if they're just going to keep changing the story to protect their own ego. This whole situation really brings up a much bigger question about the role of legacy and ego in sports, and what happens when they get in the way of seeing what's really happening. So, what's the takeaway from all this? First, true leadership means being able to admit when you've made a mistake. Second, the facts, the actual results should always outweigh personal feelings. And finally, if you want a sport to grow, it needs honesty and support, not bitter gatekeeping from the old guard. And that kind of leaves us with this final thought to chew on. When a powerful voice in the sport refuses to acknowledge a new reality that's staring them right in the face, Does it hurt their own legacy more? Or does it actively harm the game they claim to love by creating division instead of celebrating incredible growth? It's a question worth thinking about.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, smash that like button, drop a comment, share with your crew, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you never miss a daily update. See you next time.